So then, folks, welcome back to Towns with Charon and Velerious.
Hello, everyone.
I'm pausing. There you go. Red team sucks. Hilarious. Just going to throw that out there right at the start. Red team sucks. So this will be going out on the 26th, by my reckoning, if my calculations are right, which I think they are. Which means the Steam sale is still happening.
Yep, but your calculations are always wrong anyway. So
I know.
It's like when you calculate yourself out of a paper bag.
Yeah.
Maybe if I poke my arm in here. Oh no, now my arm's stuck in here as well.
That is so true. Ooh, Trickster. No, definitely not Mask of the Beast. We'll take the Trickster, that's alright.
Mask of the Beast, it's your favourite thing.
So yeah, the Steam sale's happening, Blair. Oh my god. And they've got this weird thing with the teams.
Yeah.
Everyone's been split into teams and we're all competing against each other. What team are you on, Velerious?
I'm on pink.
I'm on purple team!
Pink wins for fabulousness. I mean, the other awful thing is, as well, that you never know. Everyone could go from purple or pink today. And, then just all of a sudden, everything you said in this episode now makes you look like it could be another day. Well,
as of day one, it looks like purple team's in the lead. So that's pretty cool.
In the lead by an awful lot.
Oh, yes. An awful lot. Somewhere like 40,000. And red team is like miles behind. Proper scrubs on red team.
Pink and green were fighting it out pretty much most of last night. And then green seemed to pull forward this morning.
Did they?
Yeah.
And blue's sort of lagging a little bit behind. Oh, it's pretty exciting stuff, though. It's like so different.
It's interesting to actually watch, and I like the idea of being put in a random team. I think the random team thing works a lot better than, say, like a bunch of friends trying to go in one team. Yeah,
exactly. It makes you compete directly with your friends, which is hilarious.
The only problem is that the tokens to change teams kind of like stop you doing that. But also as well, like
they're getting pricey. Yeah,
the price in fluxes now because red team is like down to £2. If you want to go into red team, it's just £2. If you want to go into purple team, £20. Basically, a AAA game to buy yourself into purple team.
Yeah, which is brilliant. It's so exciting.
Just remember, this is going to take a long time to sell all this mud now.
Yeah, I know, but it needs doing
like days upon days of selling mud.
Do you want me to sell less mud?
If we've got anything that we've got a lot of that's more expensive, you could mix it with the mud.
The thing is, the mud is like, it's pretty close as well. They don't have to carry it. It's not like bones which were like scattered around the dungeon.
But still, 240 blocks.
Yeah, but it's all from the hill. It's all from there. That is the 240 odd mud right there.
Put it this way, you're going to go over 330 mud, and we've got 33 townies. So each townie would have to make 10 trips.
That seems so bad. Alright, I'll leave it at 240. What else can we sell then? Or do you not want to sell anything?
Well, that's what I said. If we've got anything that's worth more that we can sell, it would be better.
We've got quite a lot of copper.
Yeah, 35 or coal or iron. Either one of them.
The thing is, they do have to go into the dungeon for that.
But it's still like they'll only have to bring a short amount of that compared to how much
I'll sell some copper.
Yeah. Because it's 15 gold extra each lump of copper we're selling.
That is true. Okay.
It makes more sense because it means less hauling for the little townies. So they don't have to cry all over the floor all over the time.
Those townies. So yeah, anyway, guys, let us know in the comments which team you're on. Because by the time this goes out, there'll be difference because it's a daily total, and then presumably a big thing at the end of who has the most points overall, I guess.
Yeah. We are interested to see what team you're on. So if you're on red team, write red team.
If you're on red team, we're so sorry.
If you're on pink team, write pink team. If you're on Xbox, get out now. Just go away.
Xbox.
The Steam sale, goddammit. So there we go.
That's it. That's what we're selling. Right. Something Craig Gummersall said was to move item construction up, which is what's delaying them making the boots and stuff. Because he says, although it might seem like a bad choice to have at the top, it's like you're waiting on them making the food before they do the items, whereas if they do the item, it's just one item, it's done, and then back to food.
Now, see, the other problem with that is the fact that I never moved this headset, so now we're probably going to hear that quite a bit. I'm just going to put it behind me.
I couldn't even hear that from where you were.
I did. It was the tinging sound, apparently.
Tinging sound?
Yeah. But the other problem with that is the fact that last time we moved something up to the top, which I think was hauling, wasn't it?
Yeah.
People just started not making meat anymore. They just went, well, sod it, we'll butcher some animals and just leave them in a barrel somewhere. Just like a chicken's body with no head, no feet.
I'm sure it'll work. We'll keep an eye on it. Why is this rogue stood here with a red thing on him? Oh, because there's a candle there that needs moving.
Do you remember our last talk as well on towns about all the armours and everything? Because I was thinking...
It's just took the trickster. Motherfucker.
Well, that's good. We want them to get good weapons.
Well, that's true.
As long as the rogue takes it, the barbarians at the trickster, then I'd be pissed off. Because the barbarian will just die with the trickster, and then we'll probably lose it.
Okay, so we've got 2 rogues with tricksters now, and 1 with the plague bringer.
Yeah, which is good, because the plague bringer, like, he poisons them, and then uses his confusion to get away, so it kills them off later.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. The rogues are probably one of the best heroes we have, really.
And they're definitely really good at kind of, like, going in there, and if they get into a bad predicament, just kind of confusing everyone and running, so no one will hurt them.
They're doing this all in pretty quick, look. It won't take too long.
Oh, yeah.
They're getting all the mud from here.
Yep. Look at them all go and get that mud. Oh, yeah.
No. Sell the mud. Sell it all to that guy. The guy who wants the mud. The dwarven caravan. He's going to go home and just, like, build, like, something out of mud.
You know when...
There's still a grave there as well no one's made.
You know we were on about armours being made out of wood and everything?
Yes.
Right. When you make a sword out of wood,
in
a few games they call that a slashing weapon.
Yeah.
Quite clearly, a wooden sword would never be a slashing weapon, would it? That'd be kind of like saying, well, if you make this sword out of pork, it's going to cut through the enemy in a matter of seconds.
I think, yeah, I see what you're saying.
It's like sellotaping a hilt to the back of a pig and beating someone to death with it as it goes... with its little pig noises.
It is true, the sword itself, the wooden sword would not be slashing, but a sword is a slashing weapon, so if you are training with a practiced wooden sword, you're training in slashing weapons.
Even though quite blatantly, you know, if you train someone in a wooden sword, they just get used to beating the living crap out of people's head with it.
Well, no, because you do train with wooden swords, that is the thing.
But it's like quite clearly, right, if you train with an iron sword on a dummy, when you slash the dummy, it would get a mark where you've slashed, so you would know how...
The dummy would eventually get fucked, whereas
if
you train with wooden swords, you can train with 2 people together.
You would then slash, and some other person would go, well, you can't slash me, it's not even hurting, you know, so you bonk him on the head and go, hang on, that's way more effective, we'll just keep bonking each other, that'll work. And then you sit there bonking each other.
Well,
I think that's why back in the old days we used to have a lot more like barbarians and bludgeon using people than we did like
swords. You train the moves you would use with a sword, but with like bundles of sticks, like Kempo sticks.
That'd kind of be like someone giving you a gun made out of wood that you get splinters all over your hands with, and he goes, right, now pretend to shoot your friend over there. Bang! Bang, bang! And then you just walk over and hit him with the gun and go, well, this is much more effective than shouting bang at my enemies.
Yeah, but you could train with like... with a gun, you'd be training your aims. You'd be using like paintball guns. Now again, and they're not piercing like a gun would be. They'd be bludgeoning, but you're training.
But quite clearly, it would still have the effect of how you use a gun. You would know that if you hit someone in the head with a paintball gun, it would hurt a lot more. The same way as if you hit them in the crotch.
Yeah, but you don't.
But then when you get an actual gun.
Yeah, but that's not how. You're such a fool, Boris.
I'm just saying.
The thing is, when you train with a wooden sword, you don't go, oh, well, clearly if I poke him with it, it's going to hurt more than if I slash him with it, because his slashing won't hurt him.
Well, that's not won't hurt. You'd bonk him.
Well, exactly, but you don't, because you're not training to bonk somebody with a fucking actual sword. You're training slashing manoeuvres.
I mean, to a degree, I think that'd train them quite well if you just started bonking the enemy's head.
It's a good job you're not in charge of Derpsville's military, Velerious, because we'd be shit.
I am in charge of Derpsville military. Why do you think we've got so many casualties? Look at the graveyard. It's like, why do you think that happened?
Derpsville training grounds. It's not a good place. Don't go there.
It's like Simon Poitevin.
Simon
Poitevin. That's why he's got that lovely golden sword. Imagine that cutting through something.
I can imagine it cutting through something, and it's an axe, not a sword. So, you know, same difference.
Wouldn't a gold axe be really shit at chopping down trees? It just kind of shatter.
In Minecraft, definitely.
Well, in anything. It's just so weak. Gold itself is not really that fantastic, and once it goes through the stress of being purposed into an axe...
Gold is quite a soft metal, in reality. You wouldn't use it to make weapons or armour.
Or chopping down trees.
However, the golden axe is a direct reference to the video game Golden Axe.
Maybe you could make a golden poop stick, and you could poke poop with it.
Golden weapons would be ceremonial. You would have them to show your wealth and prowess.
Or stab someone for a sacrifice.
No.
But then it's only going to stab one person a year.
No. Sacrificial daggers would not have been made out of gold.
Were they made out of, like, tin?
The hilts might be made out of gold.
Were they made out of wood?
The blade wouldn't. No, they weren't made out of wood either.
We need to practice our sacrificing. Here's a wooden dagger.
I think a lot of the earliest ones would have been made out of bone.
Bone carving.
Yeah.
Now the question comes, who killed the first person in the world?
The other person. That other
I
guy.
wonder who the first guy in the world was to die by someone else's hands, and what they died by.
It depends on how you define person. Because you've got to take it to how. Yeah, but at what stage do you consider that people were men? Because there's stages of evolution.
Well, just any part of the human evolution ever that existed.
Well, we started as like single-celled life forms that splodged out of the ocean.
And did another single-cell life form stab one of us?
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Or did it just like conjoin with us, which I don't class as killing us, because you become one mind.
God.
Go from a single-cell life form
That's not how
to a
it
double
works.
cell.
That is not how it works.
Go from a penis into boobies.
No. Biology lessons of Velerious. Don't trust him. He knows nothing.
Biology was never my strong point. Never really liked it. It didn't really make much sense. It was all about plants. It's like, I don't really care about plants, to be honest. I've got hay fever.
They do teach you an awful lot of shit about plants.
It's like, I've got hay fever. It was one of my most hated lessons ever. They were like, you've got to love the plants. No, I don't. Don't like them, to be honest.
Velerious hates plants.
If I could get rid of plants, I would. I would cement all over them.
Cement all over them?
Yep. Poop cement all over them.
That's a bit harsh.
Well, it'd kill them off. No more pollen now, you little bastards. Or, if we made it a pollenless plant.
Oh, we need another gold for the golden axe.
What we need to do is make plants that can move and just bang each other. Then they won't have to rely on pollen all the time.
But pollination's a pretty good system. Because otherwise you'd have plants wandering around everywhere, and then they'd need to form defensive manoeuvres so they'd be deadly, and then they'd fuck us over and take over the whole world, and it would be a plant kingdom, Velerious.
I would like a plant kingdom.
And then the plants would eat humans, except for the ones that are humanarian, who would not eat humans on principle because they think it's cruel.
Would you not like to be owned by a tree? I seem to think that'd be quite cool.
I don't want to be enslaved to our new plant overlords.
I would like to be owned by plants.
No.
I think this is a good idea. They'd be really good at wars as well. Just like send plants in there, you just cut one up, it just turns into two plants.
Pretty sure that's not how it works either.
Oh no, that's worms.
It's still not worms. Worms do not do that.
I'm fairly sure if you cut a worm in half, it has two worms.
If you cut a worm in half, you have two half worms.
But I thought there were male and female worms.
No.
But I thought that's how worms worked. One half was female,
Yeah,
and one half was
they
male.
don't mate with themselves.
Well, I know
They
that.
still mate with other worms. Like plants are like male and female, but they can't self-pollinate. Well,
But
I
if
think
you-
there might be some.
If you cut them
that
in
can, but
half, how do they know that they are the same worm?
Because
They hump each other before
well, no,
they
they just wibble around and die.
Oh.
And they don't, like, when you cut them in half, they don't go, oh my god, I'm so horny, I must immediately mate with this other half worm over there.
What would happen if you cut a worm in half and then put a gummy worm on the other side?
It would still die. You've removed half of its organs.
But-
Something you got to remember is worms are
Have
tubular, right? And their hearts are tubular and run through the worm, along with their digestive system and probably some neural interfaces, some basic neural pathways. And I don't know about their brain, but I'd imagine what constitutes their brain is probably tubular as well. So if you cut them in half, you're like cutting his heart in half as well. So it just bleeds out.
If they basically, right, took all the parts out of a worm intact and put it into a gummy worm, right, and that gummy worm was alive, what would happen if you wanted to eat it? It would just be worming around in front of you, just lovely and gummy, and you'd just be like, I could eat that.
I don't think you can transplant a worm's internal organs into a gummy worm and it would carry on being a worm. I think it would still just die. It's like if I took all your internal organs out and put them inside something else, they would just die eventually. They
Couch. I could be a couch. I could always be sat down, because I'd be a couch. I'd always be kind of stood up, but also sat down.
You'd have no mouth, so you wouldn't be able to eat or breathe.
Well, I don't need to eat or breathe.
You'd have
I'm a
no
couch.
thoracic cavity, so you wouldn't be able to breathe.
I'd just filter feed. When people sit on me, just filter feed through my leathery cushions.
Just, like, suck them through.
Yeah.
Suck on their juices.
Man-eating couch? That'd be amazing. Just sit on the couch and just eat you. Nom, 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 nom. No, couch! Why did I buy this from the discount bin? That'd be amazing.
Oh my god. Your brain is like so wrong today. I think it's the heat it's getting to you.
Probably.
They
I
built
am fairly warm.
They built the grave. I saw some guy go down and do that.
Maybe they like building graves. Maybe they're going to implant the bodies into graves. To have body graves.
I don't think it would work, to be honest.
So if you were a chair...
If I was a chair...
Could you be stood up and sat down at the exact same time?
Well, no.
What if you glued a chair to
You
your
would
ass?
essentially be neither, because to be stood up requires you to have legs.
What if you glued a chair to
it
your
implies,
ass right now?
I guess it implies you're manually maintaining your own balance.
Because the art of sitting is plonking one's buttocks upon a chair, right? Now, if your buttocks was glued to this chair, you would be sat permanently. But when you stood up, surely you would be standing and sitting at the same time. Because the chair would still be on your ass, but you would be walking around like normal.
So if you glued a chair to your butt...
Yeah.
But the thing is, you wouldn't still be sitting, because sitting implies that you're transferring your weight to the chair. That is... You know what I mean?
I thought it was just plonking your butt on something.
Well, you're essentially transferring your weight to your butt, because you can sit on the floor as well. Anything you sit on, you're essentially placing your butt on it and transferring your body weight to it, rather than standing where your body weight's held on your legs and you maintain your own balance.
What if you leant against a wall with this chair on
Well,
your
that's
butt?
leaning. You would still be leaning, because that would fit the definition of leaning.
The chair would be against the wall, right? And you would be basically leaning onto this chair.
But you're still leaning because your legs would be in contact with the floor and still maintaining some of your body weight.
You're just not
That's
gonna
what
let me have
leaning
this,
is.
are you?
No,
I want people to sit and stand at the same time. Why can you not accept this?
Because it's physically impossible to sit and stand at the same time.
There has to be some
It's
way.
one or the other.
What if you had, like, broken legs and a chair sellotaped your legs? And, like, the chair moved.
No. This just doesn't work. It just
There has
dropped
to be
this
a
idea
way.
completely.
There has to be a way that you can sit and stand at the same time.
Why? Why does there have to be a way that you can sit and stand at the same time?
Because you can breathe and eat at the same time.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can. Breathe for the nose, eat for the mouth. What kind of eating have you been doing recently? I just put food up my nose and my mouth. No, 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 no.
But you don't breathe while you're eating.
I do it all the time. And
You
is
you
why
place
I'm
it in your
so
mouth
good.
and chew it, and then you stop breathing while you swallow it, and then you resume breathing. If you try and breathe whilst eating, you choke. That's what choking is.
So that's why I choke on every mouthful.
Yes.
But technically I'm still breathing and eating. I'm just choking and breathing and eating.
But you risk dying.
I'm choking and eating.
It's not a sensible maneuver by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, what about, right, if you're balancing, but all your weight is on the floor?
If I'm balancing and all my weight is on the floor,
Yeah.
what do you mean? How
That's
can
got
my
to be
weight?
two things.
How
hasn't
can
it?
my weight be on the floor if I'm balancing? What am I balancing on?
Say you've put both feet on the floor, right, and you're on like a mountain or something, the wind's blowing you. So you're firmly planted on the floor, but you're now balancing on this mountain because the wind is blowing you.
My feet are on the floor.
Yeah.
Then I'm standing, Velerious.
But you're also kind of stumbling and falling because, like, the wind is blowing you and you're going, woo, wind.
But I'm still
With that
standing.
noise. You do that voice.
I'm still standing.
There's got to be a way you could do two things at once. It would make life so much easier.
Well, you can do many things at once, multitasking-wise, but just sitting and standing isn't one of them.
Like my campaign to make the days extended. I don't think 24 hours is enough. I think we should get 48 hours and we should just knock a few days out. Never liked Mondays anyway. That could be the first to go. Possibly Wednesdays could go as well. I don't like Wednesdays.
I'm not fun on Wednesdays, to be
Yeah.
honest with you, actually, now you mention it.
Wednesdays is basically that kind of day where, like, you've still kind of got the Monday misery, but you know Friday's coming, and there's, like, false hope that you believe that the rest of the week will be nice to you.
Yeah.
then-
Wednesdays are
yeah.
pretty shit. They really are.
Friday is about the only day that everyone loves. Friday and Saturday, unless you've got a hangover Saturday, in which case it's Friday, and that's it.
I quite like Tuesdays.
I don't know, because Tuesday is kind of like, you know, you've got back into a routine, everything goes back to normal. It's like all the way through your life, you basically
But
go
it comes
through that.
directly after shitty Monday,
Yeah.
which means it's like, it's quite a relief to
But then-
Tuesday, because like Monday's gone. It's like, that's that dealt with.
To a degree, you still have the kind of feeling of, well, I've got past Monday, that's great, because I hated Mondays, but tomorrow is now Wednesday.
Well, yeah,
which is
there is,
only
yeah.
halfway through the week.
True. Thing is, I work Saturdays and Sundays,
Yeah.
so Monday, Tuesday is actually my weekend.
But still, like Saturday, you can walk around, be noisy, you know,
Yeah.
fart and belch all you want, and people don't care. Well, people
Well,
might care.
I
but-
care.
but you
But
know. No, you don't. You've got used to me smelling now.
But I still care. I still don't want you to smell.
Wow. So mean. Never told me this. Just let me sit there.
I'm afraid it's true. Right, this mud hauling looks like
It's stopped.
it's stopped.
Which is good.
Which means... What does it mean? I don't even know what it means.
That they've moved on to copper. Or iron.
I guess it means they've moved on to copper and they're almost done.
What's that guy carrying?
Presumably copper. Should we watch what he does?
He just went and sold it.
She just came up from the mines as well. Yeah, look, he's carrying copper.
There you go. So they're just carrying
So there's a little bit of copper still to sell.
Just trickling some copper.
And then that's done with. Craig Gummersall wants us to mine corridors on -12, which is this, which we do need to do so they can start hauling stuff.
Yeah, there do need to be some
but obviously we need to wait for them to haul this copper first,
and then
we can do
cook
it.
all the food, and then
the food cooking's fine. They should move on to ordinary hauling. So if we get the mining orders in once this shop disappears, we'll be rolling. But that's going to happen next episode. The grave has been done.
Yes.
So yeah, the next thing we're going to do is mine out level -12, get everything from there hauled up, and then we can open the next floor of dungeon, I believe.
We can indeed.
Right, but for now, I'm going to pause it there, folks, and we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone. Red Team sucks.